Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending today on this important day, the International Day of Action. I'm one of the co-leaders for the student group on behalf of ICAI, along with Jenny, and I'll be hosting this session. Now, this session is student-led, so I'm not going to say much. My name is Stephen Bunbury. I'm from the University of Westminster, UK, and I've been working with the student group over the past 6 months or so on getting ready for this day. We thought it would be very important to get student involvement on this day so that we could promote academic integrity and also focus on it being student-led, so led by the students, because the students have added a lot of value to this discussion about academic integrity during our meetings, and it's also shaped the activities that we're doing today. Now, just a bit about a background about the escape room. We met with students, focus groups, and the student that had been designing and redesigning the escape room was vocal during the focus groups, and we decided that her idea of the escape room would be a good idea to promote on the Day of Action. Hence why I'm ensuring that it's going to be led by the student and the people that supported her in getting ready for today, and also helping her shape the escape room. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Louise. At the end, what I am going to do is hand over to the audience at the end for some discussion about the escape room. But I'll hand over to Louise for her to explain how this has been developed and give you a demonstration of the escape room, which you can use in your respective institutions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Louise Warburton. I'm a fourth-year student studying biomedical sciences at the University of Dundee in Scotland. I'm joined here by LJ Logue. She works for, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, actually.
So I'm a learning technologist for the University of Dundee, and I've been working with Louise a little bit to redevelop the amazing escape room that she started already.
Yeah, so I think we're going to begin with just a sort of discussion style between myself and LJ on how it came about, just to give you some background before we go on to the demonstration. So
that's the first question. How did this project come about, Louise?
So the original escape room was actually created for the last academic day, official day. So the School of Life Sciences approached the last School of Life Sciences president, Nicole Garrido, and asked her if she could promote this day to the life science students. So they suggested things like social media, but Nicole Garrido, she didn't want to do something just like social media. She wanted to do something that was fun and engaging. So she actually came up with the idea of an online escape room. For anyone interested, she will be joining the roundtable discussion at 3 p.m. as well. So she came up with this idea to do an escape room. At first, she wanted to do it in person, but of course, because of COVID, we had to do it online. So that's sort of when I came in. So I did some research. I looked into some teaching blogs and online escape rooms, and I came up with this idea that was essentially like a PowerPoint presentation that linked to Microsoft Forms, and I kind of tweaked everything a little bit and tried to make it as much of an escape room as I could. So that's how we came up with the platform. From there, myself and Nicole, we got a group of volunteers together from the Life Science Student Representative Committee. So we had a huge group of people who were absolutely great and helped us create, bring our idea to life. So yeah.
How long would you say it took to develop the initial escape room roughly?
Yeah, so the initial escape room, I believe, took us like quite a couple months. It was definitely a slow process, just because we had such a huge group of people working on it, but it was really great to have everyone collaborate. But yeah, it did take a while. Thankfully, it did not take as long to adapt it for this event. So
yeah, that's good. So what was the main sort of things that you wanted your audience to take away from the escape room?
So I think one of the biggest things is to raise awareness of how complex academic integrity actually is. There are so many nuances in different situations that it can come up in, and it's impossible to educate on every single one of these. So what the great thing about an escape room is it helps to encourage these situational judgment skills so that students can try and practice what to do if they're in a situation and they're not sure the right way to go.
Yeah, definitely. So we've been working together to develop this project a little bit further. So can you just tell us a little bit about that process and what the next steps are?
Yeah, so sort of as I said, the first escape room was designed for life science students. So moving forward, we obviously want to generalize it a little bit more so that we can aim it to all students of all disciplines. I know that we have been talking about maybe having some specific questions to different courses, just to help people understand the implications for their career. So for example, primary teaching, law, medicine, those kind of things. Another big thing is to try and raise awareness of some of the support systems within the university. I think it's important not just to tell people what not to do, but tell them what they can do instead. So yeah, I think those are the big points that we're working on at the moment. If you have any more, please jump in.
So what would you say you've learned? Have you learned a lot from doing this, taking this project on?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the biggest things, I know maybe it's not so much about the academic integrity part of it, but if you have an idea, just go for it. Don't be intimidated if you don't have any experience with it. I know myself, Nicole, and our entire committee, none of us had experience with it. And it's not the most sophisticated platform, but I think that it was, it became something really great and we learned on the job. And yeah, I encourage other students to do the same, to engage with other students and start conversations about academic integrity.
Yeah, definitely. And like Stephen said at the beginning, it's great to see a project that's really sort of student-led, like for students by students. That's really great.
Yeah.
So I understand you're going to show us a little demonstration of the escape room now, so take it away.
Yes. First of all, I would like to introduce my lovely volunteers. If you want to come onto the camera and introduce yourselves.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Samaya. I'm currently a Year 4 biomedical sciences student at the University of Dundee here in Scotland.
Hello, my name is I'm a medical science student in the University.
Okay, so I will now share my screen and
Hi, Louise. We can't actually hear you clear enough. Could you just talk more into the computer or mic? It's probably because.
Oh, so sorry.
Okay.
Use your authorized materials correctly. You have an open book. So the development here are your set of letters.
When an open book exam for a lab session, you run into problems with your data analysis. A friend offers to send you their analysis to use instead. Maybe an example. Yeah. You're sitting in the library during an open book exam and see a friend doing the same. Decide to work together on the exam to get a better grade. Illusion, I think, yeah. Oh, amazing. Next, submit, right?
Yeah. Then we go to. Yes, so we go back to the main room
Main
now,
screen again.
and now we need to find all the clues in the room.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Read cards.
One sec. We just found that.
Oh,
There you go.
right, we just
Yeah.
found that. Okay. So what is that?
Honesty, yeah.
So then, yes, can you please write down first? 090 0923.
0923, we'll just remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that could be questions.
Yeah.
How do you pass?
093.
Is this
I think it's the first one and the third one, maybe.
but also this one, right?
Oh
no,
impersonation.
Then
Yeah, so
Yes.
Y and Y.
why?
Third one, yeah. Next one. We've got
So then I guess I move on to next room. Yeah, this is a lab room.
yeah. So let's start here.
Although your data may not always be what you expect to be, changing your data and taking someone else's data as your own because you're conclusion. With this in mind, monitoring inserts the lab books with specific data.
Right, let's do this.
So lab books with
Yeah, new one.
in this step, you need to use your investigative skills. In this lab book, it's a set of falsified data. Presenting your raw data is incredibly important, regardless of whether they are what you expected. Make sure to obtain the correct data to complete the lab.
Go to step B and find the following.
Conclusion: linear relationship between temperature and pressure. Oh, there seems to be something here weird. Feels like they're like there's a page
Right,
out
ripped
or
it off.
something.
Probably they got rid of some of their data.
So I guess
I
there's
think so, yeah.
information missing.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the data is missing. It's like rip off stuff on there.
So I should look more
Yeah.
into this. What should we do? The bin,
Then,
perhaps?
yeah.
All these pieces in the bin. Can you organize them? Both of them together. Okay, so it's 5.
Yeah.
214.
6.
Or no, maybe this was 513. 513, this one I think. 513, 6, 6, 2, 4.
4. Yeah. Yeah.
It's under the
Comparing
same.
Any conclusion?
It's the same, right? All of the numbers are the same.
No, they're a bit different.
Mhm.
They're the exact same.
They're the same, yes. Which one's C and which one's B?
That one's B and that one's C.
So B is the one that
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And then C. This one's C then. C and then it's covered from this one then, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. Because it contains from B.
You
have
think?
completed the puzzle, okay? There are 2 puzzles within this room. But you have completed both. You want the next room. Okay.
Next is the red one. On to the next room then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not right
So,
here.
yeah. Uh, the box printer.
Well, here presents.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
More than one person. It can be only more than one person.
Oh.
How do I? Oh. So
B.
what would
I think A could be one as well, actually. If there was anything you make.
Or do you have
Property. Camera, yeah.
Yes. Allows to make money. I think the position doesn't need.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah. Let's have a go.
Have a look at that.
Let's go back to the computer. Yeah. Oh.
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 So what do you have? So we have yeah. So you said it can be copyrighted. Right. So,
Yeah.
I guess. Oh. Sorry, you're so
Yeah, you're fine.
yeah.
So F, I feel like G is definitely. Third one. Third one. A, B, D. This one. Then. There we go, yeah. Oh, yay! Okay. Should we go back? Yeah.
What about the printer? So.
Amazing.
That we finished. Have we finished? Oh, no. That's so good though.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really fun to play. Yeah, and that's why there's something good,
Yeah.
especially in
The illusion stuff as well.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay, should we?
Yeah.
Go there.
That was great. Thank you for doing that.
Yes,
The
I'm
sound was a
so
bit
sorry. We
funny,
don't
but
have
we
the.
can see everything, so that's completely fine.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, the whole thing, there is like a longer version, I believe. LJ will be sharing it. So we didn't get to do all the questions just for time wise, but that's a good taster of kind of what we did and like how it kind of works. So yeah, if you we also have a Menti code, I believe, that LJ will also be putting in the chat, just for any feedback that you have. If you want to submit anything, please do. It'll all be in the chat.
Thank
Over to
you.
Stephen.
Thank you very much, Louise, and the student helpers that demonstrated playing the game. I think it was important for us to realise that, as you said in the beginning, that academic integrity is not straightforward and it can be complex. We could see by the discussions between the two students that is it this, is it that? So one of the things we talk about in our working groups is all about educating people and promoting academic integrity, which I think the escape room does. So thank you very much. Yeah, at times we couldn't hear you, but we know that there is a debate going on about which is the correct answer or not. And the main thing is we saw the screen and what you were trying to do. So it, you know, generally, when you're looking at it, generally that, you know, a lot of it needed to be discussed or you need to think about it. And yeah, thank you very much. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the floor now to any questions you have or comments about the escape room. We are keen to get some feedback because Louise is developing it into a longer escape room, and LJ is going to circulate that after for people interested in that and implement it in their institutions. So what really we would like to do is open up any questions to the audience and have a discussion about potentially how this could be used in your disciplines and how we might implement this or improve it or add anything. So over to the audience, and hopefully Louise will be able to answer some questions, and I can chip in now and again as well. We have a first question. How was this rolled out in class? Was it voluntary or mandatory? So do you want to take that one, Louise?
Yes, so so the original one, we shared it on our social media platforms with the life sciences students, and we also put it in email. I think in terms of developing it further, just to increase engagement, LJ and myself were talking about even doing an event where we could have people come in and play it in groups, things like that. We are having, I think, more of a focus on academic integrity within the university. So there's going to be a lot more opportunities for people to play it. But that was one of the biggest things, is that we'd like to do some more in-person events with it. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you very much, Louise. One question from me while we wait for any questions in the chat is, we spoke about this when you were developing it, and we gave you feedback on, I gave you feedback, and also the ICAI board gave you feedback because I took your proposal to the board and they were very impressed. In regards to different disciplines, how do you see this working in different disciplines? So obviously this was a specific discipline that you focus on here. So how would you see it working in, say, English, law, any other disciplines?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things is that there are core values that we need to promote, and they can be very general. And so, but we have been talking about having, within the developed one, having different routes that specific people can take. So if you're doing law, you would take the like law option and those things. So I think it's important to have implications within your further career. So give people something to think about. For example, a primary teacher, you know, if you cheat on something and you don't learn something properly, you're then going to teach primary kids. You know, they're vulnerable people. It's the same with medicine, law. And it's not, of course, about accusing people or anything like that, but it's good to have them think about these things specific to their career, so they have something else to think about. But yeah, of course, there's a lot of different things. For example, labs is much more about falsification of data. Design, you'd probably be thinking about copyrights and stuff like that. So we do have to have some specific ones, but I think there will also be a lot of just core values and in the general escape room aspect.
Great, thank you, Louise. And we do have some more questions from the audience. So Miranda, it's really interesting to see this, and clearly a lot of great work has gone into it. what Miranda would like to know further is to know what platform you use for the pictures, and have you got any idea of the impact of this? So when we talk about impact, we mean impact. I suspect, and Miranda's talking about impact in institutions and potentially globally as well. Hence why we're doing the event. So, you know.
Yeah. So at the moment, like what we've created, I used Canva. So I do have a membership for it, full transparency. So I do pay for that, but it is a free platform that people can use. So I just use the visuals from that to sort of make the room. And then I uploaded it to PowerPoint. From there, I added the links to each separate object. So that's kind of how I made it. In terms of impact, that is definitely something that I feel like we need to improve on in terms of engagement. I think if we had a lot more engagement, it would work a lot better, we'd have more impact. But I think the most important thing is that students don't want to just have an email. You know, it really dehumanizes the process, and we need more things made from students for students, things that they can like. It sparks a discussion, especially having live events where this can happen. You know, you need to bring back that bridge between staff and students. And yeah, so we didn't want to do something that was too dehumanizing. We wanted to bring back that sort of discussion.
Thank you very much, Louise, for such a comprehensive answer. Comprehensive as usual, which is a very good thing. Great. We have a question here from Martin King, and what he's saying is something linked to earlier about having this in different disciplines, where essay writing, for example, could be a skill or could be an assessment that we focus heavily on. And I know law we do in other disciplines too. So Martin's asking, are there any scenarios, thinking of probably the full game, where it covers specifically essay writing, referencing, citing and quoting? Are there any scenarios?
Yeah, so we definitely had some in the last one. There should, I think in the longer version as well, there is a question on it, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that's something that we did focus a lot more in the first one, and we will again the second one. One scenario we really want to talk about is things like blackmail with essay mills and things like that. But yeah, in terms of adapting it for this, because of time constraints, we didn't have it in, but it was actually a really big part of the first original one, and something that we want to take forward with the situations such as blackmail and things like that.
Great, thank you very much. And we have a question from Caitlin here, praising the resource, saying it's innovative. And thanking you. And the question really is why didn't you use your VLE? And you've chosen to use Microsoft tools. So she's just curious as to why you didn't use a VLE to roll it out and you use Microsoft tools instead.
One of the biggest reasons is that I have no idea how to do anything technical. But also I just felt like PowerPoint and Microsoft Forms, they were something that literally every student, anywhere you go, knows how to use. It's so accessible. And like it's just from that, in terms of people being able to use it on their own time and stuff, I think it's the most accessible and everyone knows. So yeah.
Thank you. And we've got one more question, and it's from Mary. I do know Mary, and I can see where she's coming from with this question. She's commended you, saying great resource, well done to all those involved. What Mary's interested in is perhaps the education side of getting the answers wrong. So the question is so what advice is given to students who don't get the answers right, and how? So sort of pointing them and educating them as to why they've got it wrong and what to do next. So what advice?
Yeah, so that is something I believe we did have it in the first one. I don't think we sort of had any wrong, correct? You guys were too good at the game. Yeah, so in the demonstration we don't, but in the original one we did have a couple where you would sort of explain why you went wrong, or if you clicked on the right one, it would tell you why you were right. That's again something that we're taking into consideration. We were also talking about when someone had it right, talking about the fundamental values that you should have been considering. So in the development of it, we're going to go way more into detail. We're going to hopefully use a better platform, so we have a bit more flexibility in educating on those things. But yeah, that's a huge thing that we're considering moving forward. So thank you for asking.
Great, Louise. And I do have another question here. I have a comment as well. And obviously with these questions, we're going to be using this as feedback as well. So as Louise is saying, she's developing a fuller version, and the whole point of having this session is to get feedback as well. So thank you all so far. So we have a question here. So great idea of using the breakout room format. So what help does your university provide to your current students? So I suspect the question here, to make it a bit easier, what support does your university provide for students in relation to academic integrity, or students that are struggling with academic integrity?
Yeah, so I'm not sure in terms of the sort of academic integrity side. But we do have a lot of different resources for students who are struggling with their studies. Also raising awareness of things like extenuating circumstances, mitigating circumstances, you know, how you can apply for that. Those are important things. We also, I believe, have a student resource at the Inquiry Centre called Stay on Course. So there's people there as well who can help you with any queries and problems that you are having to try and help you stay on track. And these are things that I don't think every student is aware of, but they're really good resources. So those are the kind of things that we want to put in there. You know, if you're struggling, these are the sort of routes you can go. And of course, everyone has an advisor of studies. We have people within the university in all schools who can help you, and it's just important that they know that.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for finishing on time, because we did start 2 minutes late. So again, thank you very much, Louise and LJ, and all the other people that were involved in developing it, and the University of Dundee for obviously giving you the time and space to develop it as well. What I will say, anyone that had any feedback, please do email me, or and I'll pass it on to Louise. And we've got the Mentimeter, the link in the chat as well. Please add anything on there. And thank you all for attending and giving up your time on this important day. And again, thank you to the students and Louise and LJ. Thank you, and take care, everyone. And I hope you can join some of the other questions and answer sessions, roundtable later on. Thank you. Take care now.
Thank you so much. Thank you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.